Welcome everyone to the next edition of our inspirational series, Spotlight series, I should say, which is designed to highlight the real life stories of our members who through their actions exemplify the values of the American Academy of Neurology. I'm Jim Stevens, President of the American Academy of Neurology, and it gives me great pleasure today to welcome Dr. Joy Ding, who is going to share her story with us today. Hi, Joy.
Hi, Dr. Stevens.
Dr. Ding actually had been involved in a program that treated homeless patients in Ottawa. She established the program in 2015, Neurons on Wheels, which went to shelters throughout the city of Ottawa through an organization called the Ottawa Inner City Health. So Joy, please share with us your story, what actions were taken, what inspired you, and perhaps a few of the lessons learned from your great program.
Thank you, Dr. Stevens. So in 2015, myself and Dr. Skinner, who is a staff neurologist in Ottawa, began to go to shelters in Ottawa throughout downtown to see patients where they are in the shelters, because we felt that there's just a lot of barriers for patients to come into hospital to see us, and they end up in a bad state of affairs when they eventually make it to hospital when they're really deteriorating. And so in 2015, we decided, you know what, why don't we go to where they're at and sort of meet them before they decline to a point where they need to be hospitalized. And so we began to go into the shelters to see our patients there in sort of makeshift clinic spaces about once a month. From there, this program has been recognized and valued by residents and other neurologists. And so now it's become a part of the Division of Neurology in Ottawa, such that a staff neurologist now, Dr. Stotts, is continuing to go into the shelters like we did, and residents are going with him on a bi-monthly basis. As I'm no longer a resident, I've graduated from the program. How this began, I think, is I think it began with my own motivations to sort of seek out what makes me really excited and what makes medicine meaningful for me. Throughout my growing up years in high school and such, I've always felt a need to do something more for homeless patients, because they're just as, you know, valuable members of society as the rest of us are, yet they're not always, you know, respected as the rest of our patients are. There's a problem that they need neurologists to go to the shelters, because they have many neurological problems in the shelters which aren't dealt with. And I thought, well, it's a very easy solution. Just bring myself and another neurologist to see these patients. So that's how sort of things started. And I think the most valuable things I've learned that I took away with me during my training while I was in Ottawa were those special moments in the shelters were with a patient who is homeless, who, you know, in any other way, like, we wouldn't have met this patient, because they're not someone that would come into the hospital voluntarily. I guess these lessons I learned were just that they're just as human as the rest of us, and they have stories and successes and ambitions and, you know, sad and happy stories, just like everybody else, and they deserve just as much care and respect from us as our other patients that come into clinic do. And so I think doing this kind of work makes me feel very fulfilled, and this is meaningful work that brings us back to why we went into medicine.
Fantastic, Joy, and thank you for sharing with us today your story. Your efforts obviously tie closely to our values, particularly the value, as you mentioned, of respect, where we embrace the dignity and uniqueness of every person, and that we're sensitive and can be empathetic to the needs of others, which you certainly have shown through your program. So I appreciate you sharing that with all of us today. And until next time, everyone, stay safe and stay strong.